free card they've had today. They've got away with that one, and they need to sharpen up because United look like they're coming with a real game plan, and they've come with intent here to get this tie finished in one leg.
Absolutely, yes. As I mentioned, I was trying to mention there before, United almost scored and really got to the game off to a perfect start. United have certainly looked a much better prospect under Erik ten Hag over the last 3 or 4 months compared to the first couple of months of his tenure at Old Trafford. As Nemanja Goodlay there just bumping into Casemiro. Of a grab on the around the neck there as well. Referee not too happy about that, just giving him a warning. But as you mentioned, the United over 2 legs really will fancy their chances of getting through here. And as we see Jose Luis Mendilibar, the Sevilla manager, almost like starting here with damage limitation straight away from the first minute with Sevilla.
Yeah, it is, and we're seeing them come with a game plan there. We just see, yeah, just Casemiro to the floor, but Manchester United definitely started the better of the two sides. Sevilla, we just count them, can they? Because they're a bit of a specialist in the Europa League. I mean, multiple winners. Seems like a competition where they're really thriving despite their poor league form. So it'd be interesting to see they can replicate that magic that we've seen from them in the past in the Europa League.
Absolutely, yes. I'll remind you of the 2-11s are just about. In fact, I'll do it now because United have just played the ball back into midfield. They've got David De Gea in goal, a back four of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez and Tyrell Malacia. Casemiro and Marcel Sabitzer are the two holder midfielders with Anthony, Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho as the attacking three playing behind Anthony Martial. As for Sevilla, it is Yassine Bonu in goal, a back four of Gonzalo Montiel, Tanguy Nianzou, Marcao and Marcos Acuna. Fernando and Nemanja Goodlay, the two holder midfielders with Lucas Ocampos, Ivan Rakitic and Oliver Torres as the attacking three playing behind Erik Lamela. But here come United now, down the right-hand side, a ball in from Anthony, looking for Martial. Nianzou gets in the way, that should be a corner kick. This has been something in the meantime the officials have spotted. That's a great turn though from Anthony on the right-hand side, feeds that ball into Martial, but Nianzou's there in the way.
It gives the Frenchman a chance, doesn't it, to try and get his name back into the Manchester United starting 11 on a permanent basis. He does well there just to make that run in behind. Anthony finds him well. The corner, so Manchester United early on now have a chance to flood the box, potentially grab an early goal after already having the ball in the back of the net.
That is a terrible corner from Manchester United there. From the right-hand side, it was Jadon Sancho, and he played the ball to supposedly a teammate at the edge of the area. It went straight to a Sevilla player. Like a very tame effort indeed, and Sevilla now do clear their lines from the corner kick. Chance for them to go on the counter as Torres now plays the ball into midfield, and it's Erik Lamela now switching play over towards the right-hand side. They've got players over here, and here is Ocampos breaking into the box. The angle's a little bit too tight for him to think about a shot. He can try and hold it up and wait for teammates to arrive as well, which is exactly what he does. Then feeds the ball down the right here, but it's a bit of miscommunication with Nemanja Goodlay, and United win it back, only very briefly though. Campos then has it back here for the visitors. It's a bit better now from Sevilla. Trying to grow into the game early on. The ball played back towards Montiel on the right-hand side. Tries to get away from Sancho, but Sancho sticks a leg in. That's going to be a throw to Sevilla. And Manchester United, although they'll be strong favourites over 2 legs, they certainly don't want to take it too lightly. That corner kick could have been a lot better, and they could have tried a bit harder to win the ball back as well.
Yeah, I think that's something off the training ground there, trying to get to the edge of the area. It was a really poor delivery from Sancho. See him in the corners. We see him and Bruno Fernandes rotating, so I'll be interested to see whether he keeps his spot taking corners from this point on, because that was a poor delivery. But here comes Sabitzer.
Sabitzer does really well as he picks that ball up on the left, tries to feed it through the middle, but that's also a good play there from Marcao to win the ball back. And the stocky Brazilian now brings the ball forward himself, gets it to Lamela. Edge of the area here for Erik Lamela, over now towards the right-hand side. Chance to play a ball in on the overlap. It's going to come in here from the right-hand side from Torres. That's charged down by Sabitzer, and it's out for a throw down the right-hand side. But United now under a little bit of a pressure there. It looked like they dealt with it, cleared the ball up towards the halfway line, but Sevilla have come straight back. And it looks like they're limbering up for a long throw here, which some sides can almost turn into a set piece if they have the right throw-on taker. Going to get launched towards the edge of the 6-yard box. As much of a run-up as you can get here on this sloped Manchester United turf. The ball is played into the box. It's only partially cleared. And there's a let-off there for Manchester United. Not quite as big a get-out-of-jail card as the one that Sevilla used in the first minute with Sancho's offside goal. But if Goodlay can keep his composure there and keep his balance, I think he gets a shot on target.
He was always turning away from goal, was he? It was going to be difficult for him to find the back of the net or even hit the target from there. Always swinging, just trying to get a leg on it, get anything he can towards goal, but it flew over. David De Gea watched it out pretty comfortably, but there was like we've just said, there was another chance there, but this time for Sevilla, so definitely an open game. I can see this being quite an intriguing contest. Manchester United looked like they were comfortable early on, but Sevilla just giving them a warning sign that they're definitely here to play.
Absolutely, that's why United have to use that attacking position better when they've got it. De Gea's long clearance now Over towards the left-hand side, flicked on by Sancho, played straight back to Bruno Fernandes, who then tries to long diagonal ball. It's a great ball as well, taken down here by Wan-Bissaka. Laid off towards Anthony, under pressure there from Oliver Torres, playing the ball back in towards Casemiro. Malacia, left-hand side for Sancho. Pass does find Bruno Fernandes, but then his pass is picked off by Campos before Montiel wins a throw-on for his side, although there's a bit of a suggestion there from Montiel that maybe there was a bit of a foot left in there by Bruno Fernandes. Didn't seem too much in that. Well, there's a bit of contact, but too much intent in that. I think Bruno was trying to go for the ball, and Montiel now with a long throw. It on. Another throw to Sevilla. Malacia with the final touch. Manchester United's point of view after the game this evening, they play away to Nottingham Forest at the weekend. That's the afternoon kickoff, 4:30, before the return leg against Sevilla. Valencia, the return leg next week. You're now with the throw down the right-hand side in towards Campos. Hard to try and close down any space inside their half, but time and again, Sevilla are getting a second ball, and they've won themselves a free kick as well, as Malacia just crashes into Lucas Campos there. That must be a bit of a worry for Ten Hag, is it? For a good 2 or 3 minutes now, his side just can't win the ball back.
They're struggling, but Sevilla are just doing enough now. They're holding on to the ball. We needed to see this from them, getting possession to work their way into the game. I mean, it's only early on. They need to suss out how they can break this Manchester United team down. So it's more so the first 10 minutes, especially when you're playing a side that you're not familiar with in Europe. Don't play each other too often, do they? So it's more so about sussing each other out, and that's exactly what they're doing. But Manchester United are now defending okay, but they're a little bit sharper out of possession.
Really, we'll see what Sevilla can do from this set piece. United are trying to make it as difficult as they can, putting the offside line a long way from their box, and it's worked as the cross in, just a long, lofty ball into the box. No one in a white Sevilla shirt was anywhere near that. And Casemiro, that's an interesting ball to say the least, trying to play out from the back, and United get a bailout there because Casemiro's ball into midfield was a terrible pass, a hospital pass, the football equivalent of a hospital pass. Use that rugby expression, but then Rakitic doesn't do too much wrong. They would just bump into Martial, who then makes sure the referee's aware of it as well.
Yeah, Martial did really well. They realised it was a complete setup there from Casemiro. Threw his teammate under the bus. Martial waited for the contact and went down. I mean, it was a weak challenge, but he knows if he goes down, Rakitic is behind him, never going to win the ball, so he's going to get a free kick, which allows his side to just set up a little bit better because they were very exposed.
Sevilla down the left-hand side, Acuña's ball. It's a really good ball as well. And that is an interesting ball, to say the least, there from Lisandro Martinez. He felt under a bit of pressure there from Eric Lamela. And rather than trying to find a teammate, he just sort of stabbed the ball back towards his own goal line. But never looked to me like he was actually trying to pass it to De Gea at all. It looks like he gave up and decided he was going to give away a corner.
Yeah, it seemed like Lamela was charging it with too much pace. He was just did enough to put him under pressure. And Martinez there, it looked like he almost panicked and threw the ball back towards his own goal line, hoping that De Gea would be somewhere to pick it up, but it was a really loose pass, and De Gea could only watch it out for a corner, so they're under pressure again.
He never had a chance of really getting to that one. De Gea wasn't particularly good from Lisandro Martinez, but this is a bright start now from Sevilla, despite United having the ball in the net in the first 30 seconds for an offside. Now, the United fans have been telling the referee that the ball is not in the quadrant. I mean, the fact that Rakitic actually looked at the referee as if to say, what's your problem, ref? It's no issue there. Why don't they just make the quadrant bigger? You know what I mean? The players never put the ball in there anyway, but it is going to be a corner kick now. It's taken by Rakitic. The short ball played towards the edge of the area. Lamela with the strike. That's charged down. It drops towards, well, Montiel has a strike from 35 yards. There's a free kick given against Sevilla. Montiel did well there just to grab the ball and make sure that his side weren't under pressure. But it looks like the referee is wise to that. And Gonzalo Montiel picks up a yellow card in the 10th minute. And that is significant because Montiel was the only player in the starting 11 for Sevilla to be on a yellow card from a previous round. So he will miss the return leg now.
Yellow card to give up, but it just strikes the hand of Fernando. But going back to the corner, it was a really nice technique down the byline, didn't he? And then they swung it back to the edge of the box. Definitely one off the training ground. It was a really nicely worked move, but Montiel there, really silly from him to manhandle the ball. Play, so he's going to be on a yellow card. He's going to miss the return fixture, so very needless.
But it's needless to say the free kick was given. I think he just grabbed it and then held it up in the air to make sure United couldn't take a quick free kick themselves, which still taking one for the team, but United was still a long, long way from Sevilla's goal. It was at the edge of the United box, so it might be a little bit rash there from Montiel, to say the least. But now finally the ball breaks for United after a long ball towards the halfway line. It drops down towards Anthony down the right-hand side. He's off towards the edge of the area, finds Sabitzer. There's players over here on the left-hand side. If Sabitzer can pick them out, And it was Malacia and Bruno Fernandes who were waiting, but credit to Lucas Ocampos there. Charges back towards his own box and puts them out for a throw.
Really good play there from Ocampos to track back all the way from the other end of the field. Really, it was all in Manchester United's half. He did well to get back, make the recovery, because that was definitely heading towards either Fernandes or Sancho on that left-hand side, and you'd say they'd have a free shot on goal there. So almost a goal-saving challenge there, just to intercept.
Going down the right-hand side, Anthony into Oliver Torres. It's a throw now to the home side. And we'll Aaron Wan-Bissaka. United currently sat fourth in the league, a level on points with Newcastle, though Newcastle do have a much better goal difference. United still in a healthy position in that fourth place. They're 3 points with the game in hand as well. You compare that to Sevilla, currently in 13th place. Relegation certainly isn't a threat for them. They're not going to be finishing anywhere near the position that their fans would be expecting in La Liga this season. On this Europa League campaign, but here comes Anthony Martial. A great run from him, gets into the area, and Anthony does really well just to use his body to shield the ball away from the defender. Now it's with Sancho, back to Anthony. Anthony with the strike, a one-handed save there. Yassine Bonu called into action, and the Moroccan international keeper does very well to palm it away.
Yeah, we're screaming it. Silently to the players there. Nobody wanted to take the shot away. They're all in the penalty area. Sancho looked like he was going to gear up for a shot on the right foot there. Just lays it off to Anthony again, who, credit to him, gets a really nice strike away on a tight angle. And it definitely was going in, so a great save from Bonu. Yeah, Anthony there.
like Martial had run into almost no man's land. He ran too far ahead, didn't have anyone to pass the ball to, and suddenly stopped, waited for players to get forward, and then split the defence with a great pass.
Guys, really brings this Manchester United team. It's what they've been missing. They've not had a clear number 9 to rest on. Martial there gets the ball quick, but he's also deceptively good at holding the ball up, and that's exactly what he does there. Turns back away from goal, waits for the support, and he's really patient. He finds the right pass there, as we just see really poor defending. I think Anzu there is just trying to backpedal, get anywhere near Martial, and he's always running back, and he's never in a good position. And it's a beautiful ball for Martial. What vision it is to see Sabitzer making that last man running behind the defence. Almost a similar goal to the one he scored around about 10 minutes ago. I mean, he gets through on goal and just lifts it past the goalkeeper. Bono can't really do much else there. It's just a good finish from Sabitzer. He's got a brace, and Manchester United are in the driver's seat.
They are, and Sabitzer is on a hat-trick now. I wouldn't have thought so. We'd be saying that after 21 minutes in this game, but it's a really good finish as well. Bono trying to get his body as big as he could there to try and stop Sabitzer, but goes past the goalkeeper's arm and into the back of the net. And Erik ten Hag will be delighted with that one. 85 or 90% of the crowd here at Old Trafford as well. They'll be delighted to see that ball going into the back of the net. But now the camera focusing on Tanguy Nianzou. The scuffed attempt at trying to control the ball in midfield that led to the counter that then led to the goal. But Manchester United now in a very comfortable position. And Sevilla, careful here, because we were praising them in those 5-6 minutes where they seemed to have Manchester United rattled. But then the next 15 minutes, they just been swept aside.
Doing the right thing going forward. It's just over the place. United cutting through like butter. I mean, really easy for them to pick those sort of half spaces where nobody around. I'm not sure. Field not helping out the defence, but the back line looks all over the place. You see there, out of position, almost like a zigzag. You see Marcal just step up. Nianzou's drop back, just allowing that offside line to drop deeper. Martial to run on.
In the meantime, United have won the ball back here in midfield. Play back towards David De Gea. Now here down the right-hand side for Casemiro. That's another bad ball out from Casemiro. He gets away with it this time, just like time as well. And United are able to now go over towards the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes finding Tyrell Malacia. United now on the front foot. Martial dropped a little deeper, but he finds Bruno Fernandes. There are runners ahead of him. United can spell a third goal here as it's with the Malacia down the left. Players waiting in and around the box here. If Malacia can get a cross in, stops his run and tries to thread that through to Jadon Sancho, perhaps overcomplicating it. That occasion, the home side, and here comes Sevilla now down the left with Oliver Torres. A ball over the top. It's Eric Lamela. That's a cut out by Rafael Varane, and United are now back in possession. We're at the halfway point in this first half. 23 minutes gone. Manchester United lead against Sevilla by 2 goals, and it will be Harry to take us through to half time.
Fence there, but yeah, but every time they're pounded out by red shirts, and United straight back on the front foot, and they're looking to go forward here. Bruno Fernandes with a lovely lofted ball over the top. Now Anthony's latched onto it. There could be another chance here for Manchester United outside of the boot area from Anthony. Cut out there by Nianzou. Oh, it's going to go out for a corner, but every time Manchester United get forward, they look like scoring.
They do now. I mean, it's gone from being a very sort of even start with Sevilla having a couple of half chances to United just carving their defence open time and time again. When you made a minute ago that United do look under pressure from Sevilla when Sevilla go forward. Sevilla look lively when they're trying to attack, but they just look completely open at the back. Now a corner kick to deal with as well.
Happy with Sancho, and does go short. Fernandes head up. Known as he Sancho favourable box, but down well, and now Bruno Fernandes will far posters there though for Manchester United. They have to come. Casemiro goes down under the challenge from Rakitic. Barcelona man is going to be second man in the book this evening. It's another Sevilla player, and it's a really needless challenge there. Casemiro had his back to goal. All he had to do was stand him up, hold him away. Flying in with a reckless challenge, and
it is not. I mean, this is what they have to be careful of Sevilla now. They've started to show a little bit of frustration. A couple of rash challenges there, and that one from Rakitic is unnecessary. There's so little chance of there, and no surprise to see the Croatian getting booked.
Area at some. In the air. But head up and find one of those in, and it's a very poor delivery from Fernandez. Blazes it over the over.
I mean, it's, as I say, a slightly more frustrated look on the face of Erik ten Hag now, although he'll be delighted that his side are very much in control of this game. I'd like to see a much better delivery than that. It's close to goal as well. Completely overplayed and out for a goal kick. Trying to be a, it's still goalless in the other two games, by the way. Juventus 0-0 against Sporting, Leverkusen 0 with Lyon, and Europa Conference League. Against drew 1-1 with West Ham earlier. Anderlecht currently lead against Alkmaar by a goal to 1-0 between Basel and Nice. Lech Poznan also won with Fiorentina. So goals in the Conference League so far.
Late in the area, good day there, but header can't go goalwards. He was always stretching back under pressure from Lisandro Martinez behind him. Other opportunities haven't really taken Torres with the.
He's waiting for that ball to arrive on his head. He wants to be a couple of yards behind it, but he doesn't. He can attack that ball. Danger when you're missing a natural striker in your team. Asking defensive midfielders to fill the gap when you're attacking, and a good lay there just couldn't cope with that. But United are putting themselves under pressure as well with a quick ball out from De Gea, having to go straight back to him now.
Questionable bar and bench this. Why hasn't looked main man up front to the line, but unless Eric Lamela has got the nod.
Well, there's another former Spurs connection in Brian Hill as well. He's on the bench for Sevilla this season. There are attacking options there for Mendilibar. I think it was one of those where he's probably hoping to frustrate United, perhaps keep it at 0-0 or maybe be one down after the hour mark and then perhaps try to capitalise on some United mistakes and get a goal later on. But kind of backfired here now because Sevilla, seeing plenty of the ball, if they do anything to threaten United, they could try to go here again, but just finding the space to get the ball.
Ivan Rakitic up by Varane, two very familiar other after Varane's time. Spain with Real Madrid. Owner. Throw-in, sorry, on this near Marcus. Aim towards Eric Lamela. Way by Manchester. Like just about. Ben Sancho will pick up the loose. Now he's options. Working now, Sevilla. Same possession. Halfway. Playing his full options. Lamela picks things up and he's Ben Sancho with an attempt of a tackle, but very good by Casemiro. Cut out the danger by the Manchester United half. Back towards Sancho. Happy. Set now and hold. Back towards. Back towards De Gea, and he now eventually fires a long ball. Has that penalty over. Manchester United player though, Asia. The poor ball. Play now, Sevilla have a chance. United, it's Rakitic. Captain's armband turned well away. Casemiro got away. Have to go Fernando. Final challenge comes from Wan-Bissaka. Referee said no foul and we'll look to play on, but that was a poor out from Varane. Massive. Time ball away, Manchester same possession, but throwing as we play here. Chance to save it, so quite unlucky, but the second one, reflection in that, just brilliant play from Manchester United and a goal. That
No, it was superb. I mean, Martial makes the goal really because he brings the ball out for Manchester United, realizes that he's all alone, so he stops, checks back by 10 or 15 yards, allows other players to get forward. Defense pass to any United player, any midfielder United will be proud of.
High ball out to the left-hand side. That's a poor one picked out by Anthony, and they're giving the way to here. So that's a lovely switch from Casemiro. Finds Jadon Sancho a plate. Will he get the shot away? He's waiting for options here. Penalty area. Sancho does eventually unleash. Got by Nianzou. Casemiro's pass out towards the defence is going to be up now on halfway by Campos. An overlap coming in now from Montiel. Right back, he will get there ahead of Lissandro Martinez. He tries the first time ball in the area, cleared by Malacia. Second looked dangerous as they broke full. Couldn't quite together the pick and find a shot on goal, but he will have a chance.
They will do. I mean, from Sevilla's point of view, if they were to get a goal back here before half time, they would still see this as a very good half. So it's not all over for them in terms of this game, in terms of the two-legged tie, but a little bit more when United have the ball. They've got to be a little bit more resolute in defence because United at times they're Sevilla in possession outside the United box, but marksmen win the ball and they're potentially on a counter-attack now.
They are on a counter. Fernandez is he's waiting for options back. Favoured right foot. Over towards the far side. He switched. Aaron Wan-Bissaka will pick line drive towards the byline, pulls back towards Anthony. Left foot tries a ball towards the far post. It's a really good delivery and then flick back from Martial. He can't find a shot on goal, and then the shot comes in from Fernandez. And Bono will save that one, but just wonder whether Martial knows the right idea there. Just tried to flick it back to a teammate. Did he overcomplicate it, or was the angle too short?
We can see that Wan-Bissaka plays this one back towards Anthony as the ball is played over towards the far post. A great ball in from Anthony. No idea what Nianzou's trying to do there. Why he's not hooping that clear. He's trying to play it out from inside his own 6-yard box. And what a story that would have been for Sabitzer to get a hat-trick in almost in just over half an hour.
Highlights of Sancho. Cute flick backwards, slightly overcomplicated by Sevilla. On at Old Trafford. 2-0 as it stands. No other goals in Europa League games this evening. Any sort of action goal now, so game still has more goals in it. There's chances at either end, so this game is over.
No, I think that from Sevilla's point of view, they can just win the ball back in midfield again like they did in the first 5-7 minutes. They could certainly pressure on United here, but the problem for them is that United are getting more confident. That's a great ball from Fernandez.
Yeah, he finds Anthony Martial. There's options in the area a bit there. He cuts it back towards Sancho. Takes the first touch around the defender. Can he get a shot away? He pulls it back towards Martial. Got options on the edge of the box. Casemiro's there. Who has the strike, and it looks to take a deflection. And I think it's going to roll out for a corner. It will do. Casemiro there, just trying to set up the shot towards the far post. Vital deflection comes in from stop a third goal.
Well, it's almost as if the United players got each other's way at one point there. Martial heavily involved again, this time over on the left-hand side. Great play there from Sancho to keep the ball in possession. Sabitzer was desperate to try and get a shot away, and in the end it takes a deflection off Marcao as Casemiro hits it first time and away for a corner. But United are feeling far more comfortable on
set piece. That'll be a right-footed outswinging delivery. Better one than his last, and it troubles Bono. He can only punch it back into danger, and then a header comes in from Casemiro. Bono will catch this one now, and he will try and reclaim and just settle things down now after a frantic 5 or so.
Yeah, it's not ideal from Casemiro. He almost hits it with the side of his head rather than his forehead, so he's probably not got as much power as he wants, and it was straight down the middle of the goalkeeper's arms. But as you say, the outswinging corner just seemed to throw at Bono a little bit, and a little bit too close to his crossbar for him to.
Back as right in the middle of the park as Haya. A couple of times where Sancho has been where you think he might be able to shoot, but at times he stopped himself and laid it off to a teammate. Is that or is he finding the right idea? Is he overcomplicating things?
I think it's a combination of that. I think that when you look at the way that they got from that, because it looked like as though United were in again with Sabitzer going over the top, but there is an offside flag up against him this time. But look at the attempts on target as well. 5 to United now to nothing for Sevilla. That little bright start that the visitors had lasted only just a few minutes, and now United really are very dominant.
settle things. Territory. Way back home. Right idea. They settle this game down severe.
I mean, they almost lose the ball. In fact, they do lose the ball there eventually. I think Acuna was out of play with it. Credit to the Argentine. He's trying to win it back, but then he crashes into Anthony, and in doing so, yeah, I think that from Sevilla's point of view, playing out from the back with short passes isn't working because United have got too many players up the field. But then playing long balls to a solitary Lamela is not going to work either. So they've got to try and find a balance. They've got to try and get Goodlay and Fernando perhaps just to drop a little bit deeper to give the defence something to work with. Then also perhaps get Rakitic involved in that defensive too, just to give them something in midfield, because right now it does look a little bit too easy here for Manchester United.
That's back into the goal or two. Best of
If you add to that Suso as well, and who you mentioned earlier in the half as well, Yusuf El Nesri, there's certainly enough attacking threat in this Sevilla squad. Not too much in terms of who's on the pitch right now, but if Mendilibar felt as though his side could control the ball a bit better in midfield, then there would be an argument to get a couple of attacking players on, particularly now.
the half. A heavy touch from him who was climbing down there. Ella away from Ella is unfortunate. Other places that he left a leg
Well,
on Casemiro.
I must admit, looking at it live, I thought that the Brazilian for United was going to get into trouble here for this challenge initially. Like he was the one that was going in, but he's now showing his left shin as if he's the one who's been really badly clattered here by Lamela. We'll have a look from this angle. I mean, Lamela stamps down in all fairness, so it is the right decision. But Casemiro was flying in as well. Tries to tuck that leg in, and it's almost like his foot gets caught in the turf. If it wasn't that, he may have got into Lamela as well.
Stable himself, and Casemiro is now receiving potential red card check here. Eric Lamela could find himself in a whole world of problems.
Yeah, well, I think that's because there is a stamp down. But I think the point you made, Harry, there about the fact that it's like he's got nowhere else to put his foot. The fact that the challenge has gone in means that there could that the yellow card is justified. But I mean, I do hope we don't see Felix Villa going towards 99 out of 100 times. If they go and check them on, there's every chance that they're going to reverse their decision. Doesn't look good, I have to say. Having seen that replay now, it doesn't look good from Lamela's point of view. But how much intent is there to stamp down on Casemiro? Argue almost.
Fair rate of endangering himself there. Just a bit of a reckless challenge because he did. Casemiro almost came off his hip. Come out worse. He's challenged and it's burst. So red card. Unfortunate hurt for Casemiro, but
It's not. I was about to say that if this was a Premier League game, I would be hopeful that they would say it's not a red card. The European UEFA VAR set of officials, it's slightly more likely they could look at it as a red card, because certainly some of those handballs between Leipzig judged to have used his hand when he didn't even know where the ball was. That was a ridiculous decision. But yeah, no. In the end, the check has been completed. There is no red card for Lamela, and United have given the ball away.
Eric Lamela, who's notebook up with his mates to try. It is with Rakitic. Nice to feed a big sliding challenge from Fernando. possession though, and they've done really well. Torres on the left-hand side. He tries to cut it back towards the box. A shot comes in. Okay, they're claiming a handball, and that is going to be a handball. And Bruno Fernandes is now going to be yellow carded for Manchester United. So plenty of cards going flying around, and this game's just getting broken up slightly here from stoppages.
It is, and this is the European directive that we don't have in English football, thankfully. This idea that almost every handball is a yellow card. I mean, what is Fernandes? He's got his wrong there. He's sliding, putting his hands behind his back, which would make it very difficult to keep his balance when he's trying to do a slide challenge anyway. And no surprise to see the Portuguese United captain is absolutely furious. Doesn't take much for Bruno Fernandes to be furious, in fairness, but now he's actually got a reason to be furious. And as I mentioned, it was him and Casemiro, the two players on yellow cards, who had to be careful for United. Well, Bruno is not going to play in the return.
And I think he's got right to have referee feel. You can't slide with your arms behind your back.
I mean,
it's impossible.
I actually think there's plenty of people who would argue it's almost not a free kick because he's not really trying to handball it. He's trying to stop it, and the ball deflected off his elbow, which is almost down by his side. It's a very harsh one, but from Sevilla's point of view, this is definitely Ivan Rakitic territory.
Up and down over the Manchester United, just instructing his players, outfield players. There's Jadon Sancho laying down to prevent low free. Rakitic to take it, and he just can't quite get it up and down in time. It flies over the crossbar.
Elevated too much here. Rakitic never looked like it was going to come down in time. He felt as though it was just about far enough away from the edge of the box that he could still get it up and down. You can see from the replay camera angles there from the halfway line that he was close to trying to curl it into that top corner, just to put a little bit too much height on it. And United play out from the back, but to their credit, are pressing.
To provide an option as well to Anthony, but picked up by Goa now. Like Sevilla are looking to settle down and game to half time at 2. Can third goal, but challenge comes in there on a Campos around by Marcel Sabitzer. Little bit.
Certainly is, yeah. Just doesn't do enough really to try and win the ball and then just make sure that there's at least a collision with the Campos. Slow down the Sevilla attack. But here's Acuna now down the left.
Lamela, and it's Anthony. Goal kick there, taking a last touch off Eric Lamela. Goal, so play here. The ball gets towards Lamela. Does take a touch off the Argentine. Got away with one there, Anthony.
He has. I mean, he's frustrated there, Lamela, because he was probably borderline fouled to try and. He was trying to keep his balance there. There wasn't enough of a push on him to give a free kick, but any more, and there could have been an argument for that. It's a terrible clearance from De Gea, and here comes Sevilla again.
Fernando now finds Lamela, tries. It will fall back towards Fernando, though. Manchester City defensive midfielder helps it out towards the right hand side. Montiel will help it further on to Campos, who's now hugging the touchline, being stood up by Malacia. Back in towards Montiel. It looked like it may have just gone out, though, for a goal kick. Can't quite attack alive. Can't play over on the far side. It looks like Malacia was beaten by Campos. Stayed by the bell there, Tyrell Malacia, as it just drifts.
See from this replay, is the linesman correct? Well, I'll tell you what, they haven't quite got to the stage of using goal line technology to give goal kicks and corners. But if they did, I don't think that would be a goal kick or a corner. I think there was still a fraction of the on the line there.
So everyone there, Manchester United nonetheless. Do about it now. David De Gea takes the goal kick long. It's headed on by Sabitzer. And to get the ball, mess around with the ball. Defensive area, fires it out for throw in on halfway. Malacia will take. Pressure here from Ivan Rakitic. Find a pass out towards Saka's touchline. Direct ball into Casemiro. Put him under pressure there, Wan-Bissaka, and now they've given them away in a dangerous area. Rakitic picks things up in the Manchester United half, but there's no runners for making a run in behind. Eventually, does, but can't be picked out by a Campos. And every time they do get forward, Sevilla, real lack of options. You see Rakitic there. He had the ball about 5 seconds without a single making an option.
It's as if Sevilla's best attacking possession comes from when they win possession high up the field, just like they've done there with Acuna. But playing out from the back, they're not as effective. Here comes Sevilla now. Acuna gets the ball back, but he's very left-footed. And his right-footed effort there goes a long, long way from goal. And it turns out there was an offside in the midst of that anyway.
Line. Step up and offside. Out to the half of this first half. Europa League amount of time displayed by the David De Gea once again a poor last year there. Just penalised for a putback. Campos so have a late goal in this first take to the second half. Now he was just out of the eyes. Cal actually elbow on Marcao. Micah. Alone. Owen. Not getting on the take the Rakitic. Own goal and like it's their last chance now, Sevilla. By Monty, Ali couldn't pick out a teammate, and now Anthony will look locked on the counter attack. Got white shirts pounding him on the hand side, but trying to find a ball in Asia out of position. Up losing out, and I'm not surprised as there was players marauding away over towards out the angle. Getting towards the first half now. Sevilla with a last chance here from a Campos. He's penalty area. Bruno Fernandes makes an important sliding challenge. So get a corner, and Bruno Fernandes has gone down holding his.
Well, the referees are allowing this corner kick to be taken despite the fact that it's over the 2 minutes. But you just see a Campos there. I mean, there's a hand across, but whether or not that even goes anywhere near Bruno Fernandes is another matter. We'll see from this. But I take it back. There's there in the eye potentially, but Bruno Fernandes certainly making the very most of that, potentially trying to stop this corner kick. But it is going to be the last chance of the first half now for
Out swinging. Have a goal half time. It got in the back to Manchester United. Towards the penalty area. It's a dangerous delivery. Great save by De Gea, and it looks like it's been bounded on the edge of the penalty area. It's not ended up in the back of the net, and somehow Manchester United have a free kick on their own goal line, I think, for a foul on De Gea or an offside potentially there. But what a massive opportunity for Sevilla at the end of this first half as the delivery in the area from Rakitic was a great one. Nianzou gets there, and it's a great reaction save.
It is a great save. It's got me into a coughing fit. That's how good a save it was from De Gea. Apologies for that, but really good reactions there from the United keepers. Hardly had anything to do in this first half, and a bit of a scramble inside the box where the referee spots a foul, and that is in fact the last action of the first half. Is it? We were looking to the referee seeing replays of that scramble in the box. I think the push from Lamela, referee wasn't too keen on.
So have first half now. The ball didn't cross the line, so we will not be seeing a goal in this first half. De Gea takes the goal kick. The referee blows the whistle now to by the end of this first half. Well, it's been all Manchester United. Marcel Sabitzer, the man of the hour, has grabbed a brace for the Red Devils to take to half-time. It's Manchester United 2, Sevilla.
Half-time at Old Trafford, Manchester United lead against Sevilla by 2-0. After 30 seconds, United had the ball in the net with a great ball played through towards Jadon Sancho. He found the back of the net, but he was in an offside position. Then there was a 5-7 minute spell where Sevilla looked really up for it. A couple of half chances, but then United took the lead after the ball was played through towards Marcel Sabitzer. His strike got a slight deflection before beating goalkeeper Bonu. And then just a few minutes later, Sabitzer had his second after a sensational pass from Martial to split the defence. Sabitzer in the box. United lead 2-0. Sancho. He found the back. A very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Old Trafford, a Europa League quarter-final action. Manchester United leading against Sevilla by 2-0, both goals scored by Marcel Sabitzer in the first half on 15 and 21 minutes. And United deserving their lead, they certainly look far more dangerous than Sevilla going forward. And although Sevilla had a few moments trying to push forward, enough to test David De Gea, barring a header from Nianzou towards the end of the first half. Couple of promising moments in the build-up as well, but not really enough from the visitors. Both sides have made one change at half-time, so we'll go through those changes now, though the United having to do a bit of defending here. But there's a free kick given against Lucas Ocampos. So for Manchester United, David De Gea is in goal. Back four of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire coming on now for Rafael Varane, Sandro Martinez and Tyrell Malacia. The two holder midfielders, Casemiro and Marcel Sabitzer. The three ahead of them, Anthony, Fernandes and Jadon Sancho, with Anthony as the front man for United. It is Yassine Bou, back four of Paulo Moncio, Tanguy Nianzou, Marcao and Marcos Acuna. Forward midfielders are Fernando and Nemanja Goodlay. The three ahead of them are Lucas Ocampos, Ivan Rakitic and Jesus Navas, who comes on for Oliver Torres in the second half, and Eric Lamela up front. So no wholesale changes from Sevilla, just that one change in attacking midfield with Navas on for Torres.
Navas. Right back roll for change of shape first. Oh, that's change. I mean,
that was Harry Jones, you heard it. It's myself, Paul Shibakovic, and Harry Jones taking you through the action as United go on the attack now. And it's Anthony with a strike from the edge of the area. Hurling left-footed effort, which just sails past the post. It's Goodlay caught in midfield. Good work there from Casemiro to win the ball back on Brazilian passes to another. And it wasn't far away from Anthony.
It wasn't. Nice effort. Brazilian, he's trying to knock out the wrong way. He just drops the shoulder, goes inside, whips the ball into our post. But I think had his angles covered. Goal line pretty nicely, so but Manchester United in this second.
Certainly are. A long clearance now from Bono up towards the halfway line, but played straight back towards David De Gea. United now out from the back. Long ball from De Gea this time up to Sancho on the half. That's been cut out by, it looks like it's Montiel still on that right-hand side. Navas has now gone forward into the right wing role. Ocampos there trying to win the ball off Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So Ocampos has now switched over towards the left-hand side for the second half. Long clearance now from De Gea up towards the half and unheaded forward by Nianzou. Have it back here now with Malacia under a bit of pressure, going back towards Martinez. That's not a good ball for him. That's a strong challenge there in midfield from Fernando. Bruno Fernandes. Needed a moment's big. Well, we finally got a goal in one of the other 8 o'clock kickoffs, and it's potentially a surprise as Royal Union, the Belgian side, take a 1-0 lead away at Leverkusen. Goalless between Juventus and Sporting, and a game might not be AS Roma goal to Europa Conference League. We finished against 1, West Ham 1, only Anderlecht 1, Alkmaar 0, Basel 1, Nice 2, and Fiorentina and Lech Poznan are trading 2-1 at home to Fiorentina. Here come United now down the right-hand side. Fernando having to work very hard to get that ball away from Sabitzer. Manages it, but it goes straight out for a throw. So still a chance if United trying to build something here in midfield. Higher under pressure. Eric Lamela playing it back towards the goalkeeper David De Gea, and now Martinez. Bruno Fernandes. Happy to slow things down here in midfield. It's Sevilla that have to try just that little bit harder, you feel, in the second half to really try and force. United certainly aren't going to sit back on a 2-goal lead, but at the same time, imagine that they can just coast in the second half, where it's actually down to Sevilla to try and do something.
Doesn't it, imagine now and now I think and they've got.
That's a good turn from Ocampos as well. He's off down the left-hand side. I'm not sure where Wan-Bissaka had disappeared to, but Ocampos gets way to the edge of the area. Stops his run and goes back into midfield. Rakitic now square to Goodilate. He had options there left and right. Just holds the ball up here and plays it square to Fernando. Fernando. The penalty, just having to stop his run here for Ivan Rakitic. Rakitic's ball at the edge of the area now for Eric Lamela. Too many United players around him to get a shot away, but Rakitic gets the ball back and then spots the run from Jesus Navas. Navas' ball into the box, actually catches the teammate. It just strikes one of the teammate on the foot there. There wasn't any opportunity to try and get that towards goal, and it's now cleared back into mid.
It was a cut towards action on. Plays it in.
It was Boniface with the goal for USG. At 1 minute gone here on an official independent of your commentary. Manchester United leading against Sevilla by 2-0. Here is Ocampos now. He's certainly been the hardest working player for Sevilla this evening. Has put in the yards, whether he's been trying to play through the middle or down the left, down the right. Certainly, if Sevilla are going to do something, you'd imagine Ocampos is going to be involved in that.
Bench from him. Up into the emerald. LA's a options there, and they're very expansive. They've got players who can play in multiple.
Certainly are, but great play there from Lamela to keep the ball away from 2 United players. Here's a move for Sevilla now down the left, but the pass from Ocampos, the praise we've heaped on him in the last minute or so, the overlap to Marcos Acuna, a little bit under hit, not giving Argentine much of a chance to get on the end of that. Now out for Manchester United down the right-hand side, level with the edge of their own area. It's Wan-Bissaka into Harry Maguire. Clearance up to one is taken down here by Marcao, and United now defending us. Here comes Sevilla again. Acuna's ball trying to thread it through down the left towards pitch. That one is stopped, and now Martial and Casemiro exchange passes before Sancho finds a ball down the left here for Malacia. Sevilla are back in numbers straight away, trying to play a high offside line as well, just to trick what Manchester United are doing. Miro now back towards Harry Maguire. Space. Anthony down the right-hand side. Ocampos is back there. Try and slow him down a little bit. There again in Saka. Back to Harry Maguire again. Now it's with Martinez. Momentarily can't get the ball back here as United push forward. Base in now down the left for Jadon Sancho. Breaks into the box. That's really poor Sancho. That's the end of that. He's able to quite show his best form consistently, Jadon Sancho.
Back into the match. Technical play and stuff, but I'm back in. He's might play even in this game in the first. But honestly, didn't very owed it to a mate. He was heavily involved in the first goal, so definitely a player in there, and we're seeing it from time.
Trying to find a teammate there. A long clearance from a goalkeeper who finds Jesus Navas. He plays the ball down the right-hand side, aiming at Goodilay and Lamela, who'd pushed. But United now have it back. Although that's not a good Casemiro. That just